Did you hear about our new sponsor, Learn It? One of the best ways to support your team is by investing in their growth through practical learning experiences. And that's exactly what Learn It delivers. Their short, live workshops focus on the essential human skills we all need, like empowering others, managing change, and team collaboration. As a Speak with People listener, you get a free 45-day trial for up to 20 people. Start today by heading to learnit.com/speakwithpeople or click the link in the show notes and start your journey to investing in providing great growth for your team. Welcome to the Speak with People podcast, where we believe that healthy communication is the key to unlocking your leadership potential. We are the go-to resource for leaders looking to greatly improve their communication skills, whether it's one-on-one interactions, team settings, public speaking, or digital communication. By improving these skills, leaders can create stronger connections and drive positive change within their organizations. Each and every episode, we sit down with experts from various fields from around the world, just like you're grabbing a coffee with them, to dive into real, practical conversations. Our goal is to help you transform your communication skills so you can lead more effectively, build stronger relationships, and make a lasting impact. So go grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's learn together. Well, let me ask you a question. How are your marketing efforts going for your business? Are they actually helping you? Are they helping you stand out or be noticed or be heard? Or are they just blending in with everybody else that's out there? And how is your game plan going for that? Well, today I am so excited about this Speak with People podcast. This is the podcast where we're helping professional leaders with their client communication. And part of that is, how do we communicate that? How do we communicate what we do? And so today we're talking about something that many financial advisors, many insurance agents, many salespeople struggle with. It's how to get noticed in a crowded marketplace. How do we get people to pay attention to our business or to find us? Well, my guest today is Niki Clark. She is a marketing specialist. She helps financial professionals, she helps leaders build trust, create impact, and attract their ideal clients through strategic marketing. She is incredible. I've followed her for a while on LinkedIn. I have learned so much from her. I am beyond honored and humbled that she is on the podcast. Nikki, welcome, and thank you for
Thank
being a part of
you.
the Speak for People podcast.
Very excited. Thank you.
Well, hey, before we hop into this conversation, why don't you just give us a little bit more of your story, who you are, what you do, what's got you to this place?
That's a long one. I'll keep it short. My name is Niki Clark. I run the Niki Clark Marketing Agency, and we help with anything. If it falls under the marketing umbrella, we do it. I don't do it all. I always want to make sure that everyone hears me say, I don't do it all. Me and my team
Mm,
do it all. And we just want to make sure that we are providing advisors with the right resources and providing them with the right also insights that explains why they need to be, initiating certain initiatives
yep.
instead of just saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. And then here's your invoice. So it's really important for us that they know the reason behind everything.
Well, and not to spill some of our private conversation, but you and I are pretty different in the weather category because I left the cold so I can get to Tampa, and you love the colder, chilly campfires. That's just for
Yes.
you. That's the best.
Yes. If you would have told me this 5 years ago, I would have said you're crazy. But something happened in my life where, because I wanted to be by the beach the whole time, we
Mm.
were actually considering, moving to a different location. And then I don't know what happened. I have no earthly idea. One day I woke up and I'm like, give me all the snow. I want all the cold. I want campfires. And I have no idea at all, but this is who I am. And there we
I love it.
go.
I love it. Before we hop into the questions, I'm curious too, because we have a lot of entrepreneurs that listen. How did you jump from the corporate world? Have you always known you wanted to have your own marketing agency? What was your journey to get there?
Yeah, I did jump from the corporate world, and as I've learned more, becoming like being my own boss, I've learned that, when I was in corporate world, I just never was satisfied. Like I
Mm,
always wanted the next thing, and it wasn't like I just wasn't, something just didn't feel right. And um, I didn't like having to suck up to people. I'm not one of those types. I don't like having to ask permission if I need to go to use the restroom, if my kid needed me to pick them up, and so
Yes.
uh, I grew up in a way that this is what you do. You
Mm,
go to school, you graduate, you get a 9 to 5, you do good, hopefully you'll get noticed, and then you retire. And so it never dawned on me that I could start my own company. It just
mm.
didn't. And special shout out to a friend here, Amanda. I was talking with her one day because I was doing a lot of things on the side and working full time. And she goes, why haven't you started your own company yet? And I was like, it just didn't dawn on me.
Mm.
And so it took me a year to actually make that decision. And
Yep.
then now that I'm here, as scary as it is, because I'm in charge of everything, I I will never go back
Yes.
at all. So
Wow.
I knew early on as a kid that I wanted to be a boss.
Mm.
I don't
Wow.
want to be the boss of 160 people or anything like that, because that at the height of my career, that was the most I was managing. So I knew early on I wanted to be something where I could make decisions and
Yep.
feel strong about those. And I always thought I was going to work in New York in fashion and whatnot. That's what I was headstrong going for. And then, life throws you curveballs.
Well, I will have my 17-year-old daughter listen to this episode because that's exactly what she wants to do. And so that's fun to hear.
I need
I,
to talk with
yeah, I would love it.
her.
I would love it. So when it comes to let's just go right to financial advisors because you do a lot of work with financial advisors.
Mhm.
Wh- What do you see are some of the biggest mistakes or the biggest barriers that they put in place when it comes with their own marketing? Because I know for me, as a small business owner, I love that the phone automatically rings. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to share anything. It just, people just come to. I'm being very facetious and dream world
I
there
was
for a second.
like,
I'm a speaker. I have so many people email me every week and they're like, when's the phone going to ring? I put my website up and I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
not how it works.
Mhm.
So I would love to, tap into your wisdom and wealth of knowledge here.
Yeah. First of all, advisors, I feel that even though we've made a lot of progress with the SEC and rules and regulations and compliance, their hands are still tied on a lot of
Mm,
things. And so they don't get to start out of the gate like I did, right? Where I don't have, I mean, I am registered with the SEC because I have my FPQP license, but their hands are so tied on certain things that they can and can't do that it's no wonder that by the time they make it through all the check boxes, they're done. They don't want to do marketing at
right.
all. And so that what I always like to say to them is, one, get with a compliance person and
Mm,
find out what you are allowed to do. That is going to be just so much more beneficial for both parties. When you go to compliance and say, hey, I want to make your life easier, what are the parameters I can work within? Then you find out those parameters and then go at it and only do one or two things. So
yep.
a lot of advisors out of the gate think that they have to be on every single social media platform. They need to be blogging and emailing and cold calling and all these kind of things. And then they burn themselves out. And
Yep.
I did that myself too. So it's work with compliance, find out what you can and can't do, make friends with them. Trust me, your life will be so much easier if you want to genuinely make their lives easier. And
Yes.
then hone in on just one thing at a time. And do that one thing really, really well. And then you can decide to add on other initiatives later.
Wow, that's so good. That's so good. I mean, how wise as well. Instead of just so many of us sometimes we're younger, we have so much energy and we have so much fight, right? And we're just like, I'm
Yes.
gonna fight the system. Well,
Yes.
okay. Then go make friends with the person who knows the system.
Yes.
Genius.
Yes. And most of the time, compliance, I mean, they're following rules also. It's not that they're sitting
Right.
up there saying, I want to make everyone's life miserable. So if you, I mean, I'm telling you, once you learn what you can and can't do and a little bit in between, it's going to go much better.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So okay, they're moving through that, and now they've decided, okay, I'm going to hone in on one thing. I'm going to start with my LinkedIn platform. Or where would you recommend they start, or does it not matter? LinkedIn, or whatever it is.
It matters. It does. I A lot of advisors go to LinkedIn, one because it's a professional
Yep.
platform, which is ideal. We don't necessarily see a whole bunch of dancing videos there. So that's great. And then two, it's the most widely accepted by compliance. So you're
Ah.
going to have to jump through less hoops in order to be able to be on there. And so it just makes sense. I will always recommend to a client or an advisor, though, what is your target audience?
Mm,
And then we'll think about the best strategy that way. But there is a caveat that the average human being is on 6.4 social media platforms.
mm,
So, whatever platform you choose, chances are your audience will be there. You just want to know what you can do on that platform and if you enjoy it. So, for me personally, I do not enjoy Facebook. And
mm.
it's a rabbit hole and I waste time and it doesn't even help me out. I'm on there for my church because that's how we all communicate. But I don't do a lot of focused energy there. So my sister, who is part of the company, she's posting to that platform for
Yeah.
the company. But as Niki Clark, I'm not on there. I am on LinkedIn because that's where I find the most, honestly, joy out of it
Yeah.
because it is more professional. I'm not having to deal with as many duck lips and ridiculous influencers and whatnot like that. But also the advisors that are on there, since that's my target audience, I really enjoy learning from them.
Yeah.
So an advisor really needs to think about first compliance, and then where their target audience, and then what do they enjoy.
Mm,
So I did have an advisor ask me, his target audience is on Facebook, but he doesn't like Facebook at all. And I was like, then don't do it because you're going to not be consistent with it.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, what I mean, what great questions. So many of us don't think about though, because we're like, oh, I got to do Facebook. Well, no, you don't. If your
No.
people are on that one, it's so funny to me the different channels too, because it's like LinkedIn. It feels like yes, more professional. What a great article you wrote. I've learned this from it. Then you go to Facebook and it's like you're an idiot, and then you go to X and
Yes.
you're like, I'm coming after. I'm like, oh gosh, I can't.
Yes.
I just can't. And then you go to TikTok and you're like, this is what humanity has come to. Like I, I don't know what to do anymore.
Full disclosure, I am not on TikTok at all.
Yeah.
I could not add one more social media platform to my life. It just wasn't going to happen.
Oh, I love it. So okay, so let's just say okay, an advisor's on LinkedIn. They know the compliance. They know what they can post. And if they don't want to just post the branded stuff that's given to them, right? Like you know, Uh, w- sorry, financial world's kind of boring sometimes. Like I see, I follow so many of the companies. I'm like, oh, are the marketing people in those offices just going, I can't believe I have to create this, like,
Yes, they are.
oh,
Yes.
and no offense, like I know what you got to do, but okay. So what are some ways for them to kind of bring their brand to life now that they've followed some of those first steps for you that you've given?
Yeah. So the canned content that's provided is a good start for people who are scared and don't know
Yes.
where to start, right? And also who can't afford a full-time marketing person or whatnot. And also it keeps you safe. You're not saying anything that is going to get you fined. But there's a couple of things you can do. So you can use that canned content and then make edits within it. So you're not starting from scratch, and you can infuse your personality into that. They can do that. What's always going to be best though is their own content. You're not going to get in trouble for sharing your personality. And advisors
Ooh.
are often like really worried. Well, I want to make sure I come off as professional and I don't want to get in trouble with compliance. And it's like, you're not going to get in trouble with compliance for being who you are. Otherwise, they wouldn't let you work
Right.
there. Right.
Right.
So
Right.
we need to see that personality. Of course, you're not going to go online and say, hey, I can make you guaranteed 100% ROI on every investment. You're not
Right.
going to do that anyhow.
Right.
So if they're starting out and wondering how to make sure that they're getting noticed and seen. This canned content has got to go. It's just
Yeah.
not, no one.
Yeah.
And there's so many studies and research out there by investors that say, I don't understand what you're saying. There's too
Mm.
much financial jargon. Break it down for me so you can explain it to me in simplistic terms. And it's boring.
Yep.
So I don't know if there's a whole lot we can do about the boring aspect, but we don't have to be using holistic and comprehensive and peace of mind. Like, do we say that in actual conversations? I don't think so. Come on. So, um, one thing that's really interesting, a lot of studies have come out, and I even did my own personal survey few years back. People often think, well, my client is sophisticated and they are multimillionaires, billionaires. They're really well educated. My content needs to be really smart and sophisticated. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Well, for the most part, these ultra smart people are saying, yes, we're smart. We got to where we are, and we don't want to know what a 401k is. We already know what that is.
Yep.
But the language still needs to be approachable.
Yeah.
So if you're writing on a 12th grade reading level, you've lost your entire audience. And that's another thing advisors think, that they need to sound super smart and super sophisticated, and research after research after research from these quote unquote super smart people are saying, no, we don't want that. We want
Wow.
to break it down for us and make it make sense.
Wow. Wow. Isn't it funny? I mean, we get older and we're like, okay, I've got to come across this way and I've got to do these things. And really, in reality, it's like, no, be you and,
Mm-hmm.
and speak normal and people will trust you.
Yes. Yes, we're not splitting atoms here in this industry. So that's a whole other industry, right? Your job as a financial advisor is to help educate and guide your clients. Well, if they don't understand what you're saying, you've lost them.
Right. Right. All the jargon. I did some work for Flagstar Bank last year. And one of the things they said they recognized is for years, they did a really great job training their people on the wealth, expertise and technical jargon. And here's all the products. But in the process, they lost some of the
Mm-hmm.
everyday people communication to take all of that big stuff and put it into everyday terms. They kind of lost it.
Yeah, everyday terms, please. The study, it was done by Y Charts, but there's so many other ones. And one of the biggest trigger words for people is holistic.
Oh,
It's just, no, it's got to go.
interesting. Are there any other when it comes because I remember sitting I was at an event speaking for someone and a speaker from Allianz was there and they were kind of going through, hey, here are some trigger words that people or words that just make people go, oh, okay, I've already checked out. Are there any
Oh,
other words or
yes.
phrases that you would say, hey, maybe think through these?
Yeah, well, holistic is the top offender. Comprehensive is another one that, and then peace of mind. Um, there's also another one, and now I can't even think of it, where it's living life on your terms.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just there's a lot. Basically, when it, what are you really trying to say? Then
right,
just come out and say it. Like, it's like you're
right,
skirting around the issue or around the topic that you really just want to say. Just
yeah,
say it.
yeah, and
If you really genuinely want to help someone, save more so they don't have to pay, save more on taxes, right? Like business owners specifically, right? Then just come out and say that instead of saying comprehensive, peace of mind, living life on your terms. It's
yeah,
just not going to work.
yeah. I'm gonna try to start using comprehensive more.
No.
I'm gonna say, hey, family, tonight we have a comprehensive dinner for you.
Right? Come
But you're
on.
right, boy. The insurance industry in general love comprehensive. Like,
Yes.
wh- give me a break. Yeah,
It's one thing that is very common, and it's common in every industry, is industry professionals are talking to industry professionals, and you forget that you're not doing that. You're talking to your audience. And I have to check myself a lot if I'm using acronyms such as KPIs, well, what does that really mean to my audience, right? And the advisors need to do the same thing. I've been asked many, many times, well, I just received a new designation. They need to know about it. I'm like, great, awesome. Yes, absolutely. Tell me what it is. And they'll list off the designation, the alphabet soup letters at the
Yeah.
end. And I'm like, great, awesome. What is that? And, they'll tell me what it is. And it's like, okay. And like, basically, if
Right.
these designations are really good for you as a professional, but how does that help your audience? And so one advisor recently, he got, and I don't know what the CEPA,
Oh
and
yeah.
the reason why he got that one is because he realized a large portion of his client base are business owners. And he realized that while he was very skilled in helping business owners, there was so much more he didn't know. So he went and studied, got the designation, not because he wanted it at the end of his name, but in order for him to help
Yep.
serve his clients better.
Yep.
That's the point. Not saying, hey, I got this new designation, yay me. That no one cares.
Yeah.
It's how are you using that?
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. I coach public speakers and or business leaders who want to make the jump and start doing more speaking. And it's just in us that when we start a speech, we want to talk about us and we want to talk about
Yes,
our success. And it's like your audience wants to hear about their problem and how you're going to
yes,
bring solution. Boy,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
so good.
We're at the end of the day. There's another catchphrase. At the end of the day, we all want to know what's in it for us. Like, how does it make our
Yeah.
life better?
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, wow. Okay, so when it comes to different types of social media posts, static
Mm.
posts or just images or quotes or videos, do you recommend do you recommend all the above? Do you recommend some? Are there some that, boy, hey, if you're an advisor, you really should think about these?
I don't like saying that
Okay.
because then it pigeonholes advisors and they think that if they're not doing that one thing, then they're failing. Right
Yes.
now, right now, as of what March 7th, 2025, video is all the rage,
Yeah.
right? If every social media platform is saying you need to be creating videos, then that means that they are showing those videos to more people. It's the algorithm, another discussion for another day.
Yep.
So there's that. I will say that. If you want to grow and be seen more, use video. However, there's so many other caveats. If you don't enjoy it, creating video is not as easy as pressing record.
Right.
I haven't recorded a video in 2 months because I've been sick or my son has been sick or we've been traveling. And I don't have the time to put on my makeup, do my hair, get the right outfit, talk, and then send it off to go get edited because I'm not going to edit it myself. That takes way too much time. An advisor wrote me the other day and they said, okay, I need your help. I just spent 8 hours editing a 30-second clip.
Oof. Yep.
So I don't ever want to say, advisors, this is what you should be doing. There's like 20 different things that you could be doing right now that is working if you enjoy it.
Boy, that's so good.
So that's going to be the most important. Now, when it comes to social media, there is one crucial aspect that no matter what form you're using, you cannot neglect, and that is the engagement part. It is
Mm.
called social media, right? So every single social media platform operates the same way. You make a post, great, not a problem, right? Cool, your post is out there. But if you're not engaging with other people, the algorithm suppresses that post. And so I tested it out earlier this week. My son had therapy. So on Tuesday morning, I didn't do any engagement and I just made a post. It got 170 impressions. Couple that with yesterday, where I spent 30 minutes before I posted engaging with people and commenting and answering questions and all of that all on social media. Then the post happened, and then I spent another 30 minutes. That got over 2,000 impressions. So if you are not engaging, if you are not doing the social aspect of social
Wow.
media, your content will not get seen as much. Now, it still fulfills a purpose of having a digital presence because what does someone do when they hear about you? They Google you and your website and your social media comes up. So that's
Yep.
great. That's fine. But if you want to be seen more and grow more, the best content in the world will not do you any good if you're not engaging.
Wow. Wow.
And it is
Yeah,
exhausting. Yes. I'm
it's so
not
true.
going to
And
sugarcoat
it's, oh, so powerful. And it's so much like us sometimes, right? As human beings, it's like, well, you know, I've got all these letters after my name. Come to me. And it's like,
it.
no,
Yes.
we're in a service industry. Like we keep,
Yes.
wow.
Yes. So I always advise it. I always advise advisors, if you are spending a lot of money on content, but you're not engaging, let's maybe think of a different strategy, because I don't want them paying, either us or someone else. I don't want them paying, because content isn't cheap. It just isn't, especially
Yeah.
really good content. It's just not. You would think that ChatGPT would make it more affordable. It doesn't, because ChatGPT's content is awful. And so
Mm.
now you content writers have to work 10 times harder, and that comes with a fee, right? So my rates for my content, the content writers I have, their rates have doubled, which means
Wow.
I've had to increase my rates. ChatGPT has made things more expensive, believe it or not.
Wow.
And so I always tell an advisor, look, if you're going to go spend money on content, then please be engaging. If not, let's allocate those funds and use it for email marketing or blogs, right? Where you're going to have better opportunities.
Wow. Yeah, and you can't spot chat GPT content at all,
Oh,
you know.
yes.
No,
Oh,
I'm
are you
kidding.
being okay? Because I was like, yes,
No, I'm kidding.
you did it again.
I know, I
Oh yeah,
got you.
it sticks out like a sore thumb. It's awful.
Oh, it's like, okay, like at least put your like, put a couple of your own words in there.
Yeah. Yeah, the biggest ChatGPT isms right now, because it always changes. However, because ChatGPT is constantly being trained, right? So it's
Mm.
always going to be changing. The biggest red flags right now are, let's be real, here's the truth, and then the long dash.
Though the
It's
long
the new,
dash,
yeah.
yeah, it was for me for a while was delve. I was like, I don't ever use the word delve. Let's delve into your comprehensive plan so you can have peace of mind. Oh, that's so good. Okay, are there any common marketing myths that sometimes advisors believe that it's like, okay, hey, you got to get that out of there? Things like, I don't know, I won't put any words out there, but we all kind of have these marketing myths that we're like, oh, that's not working because of this. Or are there any of those myths that you're like, just you got to stop. You got to move on from those. Don't just hope for better client conversations. Equip yourself for them. The Speak with Your Client series is live from April 14th to May 30th, packed with powerful tools to help you build trust and close more deals without being salesy. Catch expert-led podcasts, weekly blogs, live webinars on Mondays, and grab your free copy of the High Trust Sales Playbook. Make sure you're following Speak with People on all the socials. Join the speakers group on Facebook or the Speak with Your Client LinkedIn group just for the series. Don't miss a moment. Everything's waiting for you at speakwithpeople.com/speak with your client. Your next client is counting on it.
There's a couple of big ones right now. The biggest one is running ads isn't a fix,
Mm,
and that's what's honestly breaking my heart a little bit, because I'm seeing a lot of advisors get taken advantage, even by reputable companies in the industry who know better to do than what they're doing right now.
yeah.
I met with someone from Google to find out how running ads work on their platform and other platforms. Long story short, you're not going to be successful running ads if you're spending under $1,000 a month. And that's what's frustrating, is these companies are coming out saying, "Oh, we'll run ads for you for $300 a month." They're just taking your money. They're not going to work.
Yep.
And so that's the biggest myth, is that yes, ads work 100%. They do work, but you have to have deep pockets for those ads to work. And then the other myth is that um, oh, just don't buy lists. Like, just stop buying lists. It's just a big, huge pain point. We've got to realize that even though you do buy lists, and let's say you do buy one
Uh,
that's more expensive, and it's email addresses that are specific to your audience. They've done all the scrubbing. They've targeted it for you perfectly. That list, I promise you, is still being sold to other people. Also, you might not get their actual email.
Right.
Third, people do not like unsolicited sales pitches. So you've just spent, I had an advisor do this even after I told them not to. He spent 15,000 on a list.
Oh.
Out of that full list, one person replied.
Oh.
You run the risk of getting in trouble with email servers. You run the risk of getting shadow banned, and you run the risk of fines, because technically you have to receive approval from the person you're emailing to email them. That is an SEC regulation. You cannot send an email out to someone unless they have explicitly said, yes, we are allowing you to email me. So now
Oh,
you've
wow.
got a list that, and even there's I'm probably going to get in trouble, but there's companies in the financial space who do it legally, right? So there's that. It still doesn't matter. You're contacting someone who never asked you to contact them.
Wow.
That ticks me off beyond belief when I get it personally. I will block them and I will flag them.
Wow. Yeah. As a podcaster, I get probably 7 emails and then say 14 LinkedIn messages a week
Mm-hmm.
from podcasting companies in other
Yep.
parts of the world, that's like, hey, your SEO is horrible. We'll give you 50,000 downloads for $500, whatever. I mean, it's the same
Mm-hmm.
play. I get them so many, or I'll get the LinkedIn requests and then immediately it's the sales. I'm
Oh.
like, I don't even know you. Like, this
Yeah.
is, it's
Yeah.
rough.
Those people get an immediate block from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing that we all want it now. We all, whatever it is, we want it now. But this is a relationship business. And in
Mm,
order to build trust, you aren't going to get it by constantly sales pitching and spamming someone. You need to build the trust. So if you want these leads to work, great, start nurturing them. Put in the
yeah.
work.
Yeah. Wow. Boy, that's good. So you talked about email for a second. Uh, I bet some of our listeners don't know that about the real rules of email.
Uh-huh.
That unless you have that permission, that's
Yeah. And you have to have that permission. That's not anything new either. I mean, that's been around for a while.
yeah. I was at a entrepreneur conference a couple years ago, and there's an email marketing person. I don't know, probably 2,000 people in my contact book. I take great care of it. You know, I I'm a people person, so I want to make sure, I'm always kind of going back and forth. And I was like, please tell me I could just dump that into my CRM. And she's like, yes, you can, but you'll get in trouble. Like, you'll eventually, like, that you
Mhm.
cannot do that. And I was like, ah,
One
yeah,
thing that advisors don't know is, so let's, like something that you just mentioned. So let's say I bought a list of 1,000 people. Depending on what email server I'm using, right? I might not even be able to send 1,000 that day. Then you have to send it out in batches. But also, if people are marking it as spam, unsubscribing, or flagging it, you get dinged. Your deliverability rate is dinged. So you actually have to build up your domain name, so to speak, in order to be seen as reputable and trustworthy. So there's just so many, even if you buy this magic list that's going to solve all your problems, now you have to spend a couple of months perfecting that email send because you want to make sure it's a healthy send. So
yeah,
there's just so many things.
wow,
And email lists are just, don't buy them.
yeah,
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I love it. Okay, so I'm the advisor, and I'm like, I've been doing some of this stuff on my own, and I'm like, okay, I need to bring in somebody like Nikki Clark Marketing. What does a marketing agency do for you? Like, what are they able to, partner with you to help you do?
Yeah, that's why it was a goal of mine that when I started Niki Clark Marketing to be an agency, we got
Mm,
there a lot faster than what I planned, and I'm super blessed and honored that we did get there quicker. When they come to us, it's I want to talk to them and see, first of all, what they're wanting, of course, right?
yep.
But then we dive a little bit deeper, and usually it's okay. So what you're wanting and what you're needing aren't the same thing, And so then I like to work through the explanation of that and find out the right solution for them. So I'm never going to say I do not have packages. I don't have it. Everything is a custom proposal for our clients because everyone is unique and different. I don't want to say I don't have packages. I have one package on my website, and that's for people who don't want to pay the regular rate. It's just for a starter thing. But when people come to us, we do take time to find out more about them. It's not just as simple as, great, I want 10 social media posts. Okay, awesome. Here's the invoice, and then here you go. That's just not how we operate.
Right.
So we do want to find out exactly more about them. It's usually, when all said and done, from the time I meet with a prospect to the time they begin work, we've usually spent about 6 or 7 hours with them.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
because it's important to make sure that we understand what they're needing and that they also like and trust us as well, because it's not going to be a fun relationship if we don't have that mutual respect.
Yeah. Wow. Which is huge for advisors because sometimes we just want to jump the gun and we don't take the time to truly hear their story, get to know them. We just rush right to the products.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
It's-
the same for pretty much in any industry I can think of, except for maybe therapists, right?
right.
Everyone's just like so ready to get started. And I was early on in my career, but now as I've found that the better I can understand them, the better I can serve them. So why wouldn't I want to take that time up
Ooh.
front?
What do you do as a leader in your space to better understand your audience? Are there practices? Are there habits that you're routinely doing? Is it you're reading this, you're going to these resources, you're listening over here? Would love to know, under the hood a little bit, just because this is your area. How do you make sure you better understand your audience?
It is. I've always loved research. If someone could just pay me to do research all day long and read books, I'm down. Sign me up. Not a problem.
Mm,
And my sister, who's part of the company, is the same way, and so is my husband. Actually, he's co-founder. We all love learning and researching, and so we spend a considerable amount of time weekly reading industry, insights, surveys, research, all of that. But not only just in the financial space, but marketing in general. So we spend a lot of time with that. After that, I really want to make sure that I'm understanding advisors where they are right now, because their current issues right now are not the same as they were last year.
right.
There's always going to be this somewhat the same, but with the way everything is rapidly changing. So we do spend a lot of time in that space also. And we make sure that when we do meet with a prospect, I really want to make, after we decide, great, awesome, we're going to work together, they get a pretty robust onboarding form,
Mm,
because I want to hear from their exact words, the way they type, and all of that. I need them to fill that out. And in that, I do ask them, like, what are your interests? What are your hobbies? What is your favorite color? You know, all of these things, because it makes them a more well-rounded person. And that way, when you break down that barrier a little bit and just get to see behind the scenes of
yep.
who they are, it's really interesting. Advisors, for the most part, are really selfless. They
Mm,
really genuinely want the best for the people that they're serving. And I want their audience to see that, because as well as I do, that financial advisors are one of the most mistrusted professionals out there. People would rather go to a dentist than go to a financial advisor.
wow.
But I've been working with them for over 10 years. They're incredible human beings.
Mm,
And we've got to find a way to show that better. And we're getting there as an
yeah.
industry. We're
Oh,
getting there,
sure.
but it's taking a while.
Well, many industries across the board. I think with the rise of technology and we can all say anything we want all the time, and then we're all reading all these thoughts. Like, were our brains meant to process all of this information?
No.
Whew.
Uh,
It's
I
strong.
just I don't know
Yeah.
if I just learned
Yeah.
that we weren't meant to process this amount of information all the time. Like, our brains just weren't. I don't know where I read that, but it's fascinating to me.
I love it. Okay, so fast forward real quick. Uh, AI is all the rage. We've got ChatGPT. People are, doing all this kind of stuff. Financial advisors, they're not getting younger. Average age is, mid 50s. But Gen Z is interested in long-term wealth, and they're interested in, those kind of things. What do you, Nikki Clark, you're in industry, you're industry leader, which by the way, it was really fun to see your name on the Indigo marketing. You were like on the, I was like, oh my goodness, she's on
I
the podcast.
didn't know about that either until someone told me. I was like, stop. That's so cool.
It was awesome. So what do you, if you're a futurist at all, and even if you're not, I just love to know what do you see for the future? Is all this rise in technology great for financial advisors? Is it going to change the industry? Is the industry going to have to morph? Love your thoughts.
First of all, I would be absolutely fine if me and my family went completely off grid and lived in the mountains. With that said, this technology isn't going anywhere, so we can't fight it
Yeah.
unless we do go want to live off grid, which maybe, but yeah, of course it's going to change the industry. Now we've just got to figure out the best ways to use it. What I'm seeing right now is that advisors are getting really frustrated and boggled down using AI and ChatGPT to write content. And then the content's bad, and then they're not building those relationships. How about we use those AI functions to streamline processes and procedures?
Mm,
Clean up, like ease out on the administrative kind of everyday tasks. Use it for that so then you can spend and devote your time to building those relationships. That's where it should be. Of course, it's going to absolutely change the industry. I just saw NASDAQ, what is opening up to 24-hour trading. That just came out
wow.
today. So, it can make us more efficient. It can make us faster. I hate to say faster because how fast do we really need to go as a human race? But we need to use it the right way,
Yeah.
right? So I don't use AI right now largely for processes and procedures. We're getting there. I really still crave that human element, but I'm not fighting it, and I don't think other people should either. I think we should just figure out the right ways to use it and make sure that we're using it in an ethically and transparent way. So when I bring on new clients, I let them know, I'm like, hey, I spend 4 to 5 hours building a profile for you in our AI system because that helps me serve them better.
Yep.
But I'm not relying on that to serve them. That is just to help me function and think a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Advisors should not rely on AI to build those relationships. That's just not going to work.
Wow. Wouldn't it be great if we get to a place, we walk into a meeting? I had to write that down. Sorry. Don't rely on AI to build your relationships. We walk into a meeting and we go to our phone and we go to ChatGPT and we're like in front of the person. We say, okay, I'm meeting with Jim Smith today. Could you tell me what I should talk about? Hey, Jim. You know, I mean, that's kind of where we're going, right?
Yes.
It's kind of scary. I won't say the bank, but I'm doing a training for some investment executives, and they brought in someone from corporate. They're a technology person because they recently went to texting through an app. They can't just text
Yeah.
anymore, and people are like, it's like full blown revolution. They're like, we just want freedom back. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough. So, uh, as we wrap up, oh my goodness, you have just blessed us with so much wisdom, knowledge. When you hear the phrase, speak with your client, not at them,
Mm.
how does that process through, your scope with you working with clients? Like what is a way that you try to speak with your clients? What's something, or maybe you try to avoid speaking at them? Would love to know just kind of that raw first thought that comes to your mind.
The raw first thought is that okay, the raw first thought is that everyone's fighting a battle we don't know about,
Ooh,
right? So no matter what, no matter what our role is, what we're doing every day, behind the scenes, real life is going on. And if we can look at them from that aspect and realize that everyone, for the most part, out here is just trying our best,
yep.
and we've probably got something that's on our mind that's worrying us. We're anxious about something. We're just all human beings. That's where I really like to go. If we're doing a lot of Zoom meetings and whatnot, and someone will apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, my dog's barking, or I'm sorry, my kid's here. I'm like, please do not apologize.
Right.
Bring them in. Like, the
Right.
more dogs or kids on the video, the better. I don't care. To me, I really want to make sure that every person that we work with feels safe with us and knows that I think and stress and worry and obsess over every single one of my clients because I really just want to be able to help them so that they are more free to do what they need to do. And that is our goal. I don't want them to ever think that we see them as a transaction or just
Ooh.
checking off some boxes. And so that's why another reason why we take time getting to know them. It's just vitally important to us at this company.
Wow. Wow. I love that. Before I fully let you go, I'd love to ask you 3 rapid fire questions. We're
All
building
right.
this online resource for leaders filled with different ways to grow, learn, but we ask our guests, do you have a favorite speaker? We talk a lot about speaking on this podcast. Do you have someone that just every time you listen to them, you're like, oh, my heart is full. They checked off all the boxes. I'm challenged. I cannot wait to tell somebody about them.
Yes, his name is Matt Halloran of Proud Mouth. He is a phenomenal speaker and listener, and he just wrote a book. I don't know where to put. My daughter keeps coming in here messing with my books, but he's incredible. He's been in the industry for a long time. I could listen to him,
Love it.
you know, about anything. And then my pastor, his name is Greg. Greg. His name is George Miller.
George Miller.
You can find him on LinkedIn.
I love it. Is there a podcast, if you're a podcast listener, either guilty pleasure or development that you're like, ooh, I keep going back to that one because, fills me up?
Well, I mean, it doesn't fill me up, but I'm obsessed with it. It's called Something Was Wrong.
Oh,
And we started listening to it together as not a family, just a husband and wife during COVID. And then my husband doesn't really care for it, but I've just been obsessed with it. And I can't listen to this. I will say full disclosure. Some of it is tough. I can't listen to this season's one just because of the topic that they're discussing,
mm,
but I've listened to like 90% of it. It's guilty pleasure. I used to listen to industry specific podcasts, but it became this thing where I felt like it was becoming a chore and not enjoyable.
yeah.
And so now if it's a podcast, it's guilty pleasure. If it's books, I mix them up.
Yeah. So last question, your book. Is there leadership, communication, and marketing, is there a book that you're like, every leader should read this? They're about to be dropped off on a desert island, only allowed one book. Take this one.
Yes, I just finished it. Dang it. I just finished it. Yes. I don't even know what it's called though. Um, but the other one that I would always highly recommend, I'm not going to let my daughter come in here anymore. But one of them is called Driven by Eternity.
Ooh,
I believe anyone should read this just so you can. I don't know. It literally. I don't want to say it changed my life, but it changed my life a couple
yeah,
years ago. Made me rethink things completely different. Do we have a second? I'm going to pull up that other one because I can't remember what it is. And I was like,
please.
every single. If you're a, I remember saying if you're a leader, a parent, a business owner, you need to read this book. Of course, my Goodreads isn't. Oh, I have it on that. Um, Now I'm stressed because I'm like trying to go fast.
You're fine. This is great. No
Let me
worries.
pull up my notes here. Oh,
My,
I know what it was. Excuse me. The Anxious Generation.
oh,
It's
yeah, yeah.
oh, I mean, it will really make you, and it's talking about children and kids, but it also um shows us as adults how technology and specifically cell phones have changed our lives and not for the better.
Yep,
And after reading that, my phone is pretty much away now. I
yeah,
have it for work purposes, but I have limits now set on there for myself. It's pretty much away on the weekends. There's actual studies that come out that say our hands literally physically crave to hold our phone. That's sad. So I would definitely
Wow.
recommend that one.
Oh, I grew up in the city of Detroit. And I just never wanted to camp. My family never went camping. Nature was always, it was like, ooh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Now, this phase of life, you said it in the beginning about, yeah, we would go live on a mountain somewhere. I'm more inclined more than ever, get rid of the
Yes.
technology. We have each other. I'm like, and I love the technology. I love it, but I
Yeah.
also don't love how much I love it.
Oh, me either. I'm 100% guilty of being addicted to it.
Yep.
After reading
Me
this
too.
book, working on breaking up with my phone, but I think anyone and everyone needs to read that book.
Wow. Okay. Where's the best place we can send people? We're going to put this in our Facebook group, on all of our social media, in our emails. Where can we send people to find out more about you?
I personally, me, Nikki Clark, I am on LinkedIn.
Okay.
The company is on every platform out there pretty much, but me personally, I am on LinkedIn, or maybe I should say, I don't know, email, but I can't promise that I'll get to the email immediately. I usually do see LinkedIn a lot quicker.
I love it. Nikki, this has been brilliant. I mean, you are, there's the reason why you're an industry leader. Can't thank you enough for just your humility and how you just so generously share. So thank you for being a part of the podcast.
Thank you so much. My day's made. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Speak with People podcast. It means the world to us when you share this episode. Thanks for liking, subscribing, or following the podcast. That really does help the podcast get into more ears and into more leaders listening. Also, don't forget, we have 2 exciting resources for you. The first is go to Facebook and join the Speakers Group. This is a community designed for leaders who want to grow their communication skills. Also, go to speakwithpeople.com/skills library to access the Communication Skills Library. It is an online resource chock filled with resources that will inspire you and transform you and grow your communication skills. Thanks again for being a part of the listening community. We cannot wait for the next episode.